All right, so in the last video, we created the user model class and the authentication provider. Now let's create the sign in button that we need to show here for the user to sign in if he's not signed in. We'll either show the button, the sign in button, or the user's name if they are signed in, okay? So let's start with the button. So if we come here, I'm gonna put it in the let's just go on the widgets here. Right click and then new file. This one I'm gonna call it a sign in button, like that. So this is going to be a stateless widget. Sign in button. So in this sign in button, I'm gonna pass first. I'm gonna pass the label required. Let's see, yeah, on pressed is going to be required. Let's also pass the required this dot logo URL, and then what else? The label required this dot label. All right, now that we have that, let's create these and then void callback. Okay, so what we need here is first let's wrap all of this in a guest architecture, and then we're gonna have the on tap to call our on pressed, and then next let's have a padding widget. Okay, child as a padding widget. So what's okay, that's the problem with the the assistant is just creating widgets and then it's not finishing with the brackets. Okay, so here as a padding widget, we're gonna have constant dot edge inserts dot o. So let's just get the small padding. Okay, the next after the padding is going to have a child, so this child is going to have a row widget. Okay, now in this row, first we're going to have an image, and then after the image we're going to have a label, and then that's it. It's just going to be simple. So first let's have a main axis alignment dot center, and then we're gonna have main axis size dot minimum. Then let's have those children. So the first one is going to be an image dot assets. So this is going to come from logo URL. Then let's have the height of maybe 20. Yeah, let's have something like that. We can also just pass these above here so that it's truly customizable. What we can do is we can also do this dot image height. Image height is going to be 20.0. Then image width is going to be 20.0, and then so I like to put the on pressed as a last. Just put them there, and then let's just put those here. Okay, final double, and then that is also going to be a double. Okay, let's put that over there. Now here we can just say image width, image height. Okay, so that it's fully customizable. Now next thing after this, we're going to have a constant of sized box with a width of about let's just say 10.0. Then after this, we're going to have a text with a label. Then let's give it some text style. It's a text style. So here let's just get letter spacing to 1.5. can put a constant here. Okay. Yeah, I think that's all we need to do here. There's not much to do in the sign in button. Now next, let's create the UserInfoData. So this one will create one widget to put all of these. So that one, I'm going to put it in the maybe the home screen widgets. Right click, then here let's go UserInfoData.dat. So this is also going to be a stateless widget called UserInfoData. So this one, we don't need to pass anything here. Now let's return a consumer widget. Okay, consumer, and then this will take authentication provider. Okay, authentication provider, and then down here we need to create a builder. So here under the builder, we're going to have context and then auth provider.child. So it has created again more brackets, so we need to put close it out like that. Okay, so let's just go through this. This consumer returns this context with auth provider and the child. So here, instead of the column, we don't want to have a column, we want to have a row. Okay, because we want to show the name and the image. Okay, now here let's initialize something. Okay, so first we're gonna check if user is logged in. Okay, so we're gonna need to have a boolean here to check. Okay, so let's say bool is signed in. So signed in is signed in. So auth provider is logged in dot is not empty. Okay, then we know that is signed in. Okay, next we're gonna get the UID. Okay, string UID. So the UID, first we're gonna check if he's signed in. Okay, if it's signed in, we're going to get the UID of that UID, else we're going to get an empty ID. And then next we're gonna check is signed in, get the UID, get the image, the user image. Okay, that's what I want to do. Okay, so here also if you signed in, we're going to get the, so this is called what? Profile pic. Yeah, just like this. Okay, let's call this image URL. Yes, just like that. So that's how we're going to get the data. And then here what we'll do is let's first of all wrap this in the padding, and then let's just keep a small one like 4. Now next is we need to check in these children. Okay, because we want to show either sign in or your name if you are signed in. Okay, so in the children here we need to check first. Okay, if is signed in, what we want to do is to show the text button, because we want when you click on this text, it takes you to the profile. Okay, so if it's signed in, we want to show the text button. Okay, text button of that, and then on pressed, we know what's happening. On pressed, we need to go to the profile screen. So where did we have that widget? Home screen, home app bar, and then this is what we want. Okay, let's copy this, then let's go to not sign in button, you can close that. Let's go to home app, what's that widget? UserInfoData, and then let's paste that here. Then we can import this, and then this UID, now we know we have the UID. Going to pass that UID over there. Okay, now this is no longer a constant. Okay, can put the commas here, And then the child now of this text button is going to be the text which is going to show the name. Okay, so this text, let's cut it from here. Let's cut it, then paste it here. Okay, then we can put a comma here. So here we know that we've gotten the, or we did not get the name. So yeah, this is the name, just like this. This is what we'll put. Okay, just like that. So this is going to be the text button. After the text button, now we need to have else. Okay, so if it is signed in, we're going to show this text button. If you are not signed in here, now we need to show the sign in button. Okay, so that the user can sign in. Okay, so instead of all of these, what we will do is we'll remove all of these and then show our sign in button. Okay, so for the sign in button, what do we need here? So the logo, we're going to call our assets manager dot we know we've saved the Google assets manager dot, it's called what, assets manager dot Google icon. Okay, the label is going to say sign in, and then on pressed we need to call our method to sign in with Google. Okay, so this first of all is going to be asynchronous, and then now this method is going to be what? So let's call sign in user. Sign in, okay, let's just say sign in with Google. And then here, what do we do now? We need to go to auth provider. I want to call await auth provider dot sign in user. Okay, so this is what is going to be happening now. In the sign in user, we have this show loading. Okay, so here we need to check if value, we are going to show loading. Okay, else we need to dismiss. Okay, so we need to check here. Okay, if value is true, which means we should show loading. In the else, we need to dismiss the loading. Okay, dismiss the loading, which is going to be just simply navigator dot pop navigator dot pop context. Okay, because this show loading, this one, we need to show the dialog to show the loading. Okay, so let's create this dialog. Do we have a dialog in this application? We don't have. Okay, so here we need to show a dialog so that we can show the loading, that it's loading. Maybe let's quickly create the dialog. Okay, anyway, for now, before we create the dialog, let's show this button that we have shown here, we have created. Okay, this user info screen. So also now this row you've seen here, we are checking, but after we check this at the end here, after this we should have this image avatar. Okay, so let's get that from home bar. We already have this image avatar, but now we're just going to get the avatar only. If we want, we can also put the press action, but no, let's just put let's get the avatar only. Copy that user info screen, and then let's show it here. Okay, at the end, because here that's when we are going to show this image. Okay, but for now let's not show it because we are not yet logged in. So if we come now to the home screen here, home bar here, instead of showing in the home bar here, instead of returning this, we have to return the user info data. Yeah, that is the widget that we are going to return with a constant keyword. Now for this to work, we know that first we need to go to main.dat and then add our provider here. Okay, So also we need to check the sign in variable over here. Okay, so what we need to do here is to add another check, because we want to check in the auth provider if the user is signed in. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, let's go back to main.dat, and then here again we're gonna initialize final auth provider. This is going to get auth provider dot first. We're gonna initialize it with an empty variable. Okay, now after initialize that, and then we await auth provider dot check user is logged in. Okay, so what is the problem here? Let's check. What did we call that method? It's called check what? So check user logged in. Okay, that's how we code it. Check user. Okay, this is the same one. Let's see. Check if user is logged in. Okay, we're gonna get that check if user is logged in. Okay, now after we check, now we can pass our authentication provider. So let's also pass it here. Change notifier provider, and then we're gonna get the authentication provider like that, just like this. Now we are checking, we're going to see if the user is logged in or not. Then in the user info screen, now this consumer will know. Okay, so let's stop the application and run it again. Okay, so let's just wait for it to run. All right, the application did not run. Let's look at the problem. Let's see. Google services JSON is missing. So let's see if we go to Android app, and then, okay, so you see this, what we've added is the wrong Google services JSON. Just be careful, guys. So this is supposed to be for iOS. Okay, if you come here and then come on the runner, you've seen I've copied this, the same one. Okay, so I need to go back to my download folder and then get the one for Android. So back in my downloads folder here, you can see that I copied these again. I was supposed to copy this one for Android. So I'm just gonna copy it once again, minimize this, open my project, and then open this in Explorer again, go into file, paste it here. Then I need to delete this, and then rename this. Just make sure I remove that 4 with a space. This is the file that is needed here, and then close it out. This is the correct one. Okay, again, now we just need to run the application, and then we are good. Let's just wait for it to install. All right, now the application is running successfully without any problems. You can see now that we have our button here which says sign in if you have not signed in. Okay, so this is a clickable button. You can see if we click it, okay, I don't know why I've clicked it, because it's going to ask me to sign in. Okay, this is just the emulator which is performing. I just need to wait. Okay, I didn't want to click that because I don't want to sign in yet. Okay, so yeah, if we click that, we are going to sign in with Google. So because we have put it over here. Okay, we have put it over here. Right now it's running this sign in method to sign in with Google, but why it's not going, you can see that it has brought this to sign in. Okay, but let's not do that now because we're not done with our method. So let's just cancel it. Okay, we want to cancel it just like that. Okay, because we have also not even created the firestore to save the data. Okay, but you can see that at the moment, if you click this button, this method will run, and to sign in the user. Okay, so great. We just wanted to see the UI for now. Let's end this video here. In the next one, we have to create the dialog to show the loading, and then also add the firestore to add the firestore database, so that when sign in user runs, this method of creating the user to firestore, this one will be created. All right, that's it guys for this video. Once again, thank you and see you in the next video.